I saw a missing person poster with my face on it. Something weird is going on. Now, coming from Redacted carries a reputation with it for obvious reasons. While this town was founded by religious zealots who took their own lives following some phony prophet, this does not reflect the people who still live here. We're good people. And that all happened over 20 years ago. Since they're all dead, me and the local police have rejected the theory that this cult is responsible for, well, the missing person posters. For weeks, I've noticed more and more flyers. I felt sympathy, but didn't think too much of it. Sadly, people go missing here all the time, mainly due to drugs. But something changed that. I was walking home, hands full of groceries, when I saw a freshly posted flyer. The sight made me drop everything. It was my face, my name, my information. I grabbed the flyer, took it home, and called the number listed, just an answering machine, a man named Charles. I left a message and tried to go on with my day. After cleaning up, I took a shower, talking to myself out loud, something that helps me process my thoughts. Mid-rant, I thought I heard something outside the bathroom. Poking my head out, the sound vanished. If I had to describe it, I'd say it was the sound of someone just being there. The floor flexing, breath being taken, a nearly unnoticeable change in the silence. But since it stopped, I dismissed it as pipes or an animal on the roof. When I stepped out of the shower, my peace shattered. There was something on the mirror. A word or a symbol, maybe? Hard to tell. I took a picture to share, hoping someone might recognize it. But I didn't write it. And when I had looked out just minutes earlier, it wasn't there. That was enough. I packed a bag and drove to my mom's house, stopping at the police station to file a report. Thankfully, they took it seriously. Later that night, an officer called me from my house. They searched everywhere, found nothing. Still, he advised me to stay at my mom's. That night, I woke up to what I thought were passing headlights. I struggled to fall back asleep, my childhood coat rack drawing my attention, just like it did when I was a kid. I used to imagine it was a man watching me sleep. I tried to brush it off. Still, I lay awake for hours, staring at it until I passed out. The next day, my mom wouldn't talk about any of it. When I brought it up, she just said I'd be late for work. And she was right. Racing in, I arrived 10 minutes late. But for once, my boss wasn't mad about that. He was mad because, apparently, I had called earlier, cursed him out, and quit, which I definitely didn't do. Trying to explain, he threatened to call the cops if I didn't leave. So I left and went home to grab more stuff before returning to my mom's. There I found something that chilled me to the bone. As I packed, I opened my closet and saw fiberglass insulation scattered on the floor. Looking up, I saw the crawl space entrance was wide open. I froze, reaching for my phone, but a sudden thud from downstairs sent me into flight mode. I grabbed my bag and laptop, crept to the window, and just as I heard the closet door outside slam shut, I jumped. The two-story fall hurt like hell, but it was better than staying. While driving, I called the police. Later, the same deputy called me, confused. He said my house was fine, no sign of forced entry, no sign that anyone had even been there. That was impossible. I had called them minutes after leaving. At my mom's, I tried convincing her something was wrong. I grabbed my camera to show her the writing on the mirror, but it was broken, likely from my fall. Luckily, the SD card was intact. After a long loading time, I scrolled through my photos. A notification popped up. The SD card was nearly full. That made no sense. I had just bought it. Looking at the photos made my blood run cold. Aside from a few pictures I had taken recently, the majority of the 500 gigabyte SD card was filled with photos of me sleeping. Not just at my house. Some were from last night. Here, at my mom's house. Over 200 pictures of me, lying in bed, staring toward the camera. And when I pieced it together, where the coat rack stood was where the camera must have been. Taking pictures of me for hours. After I fell asleep, whoever took the pictures turned the flashback on. The pictures lasted until morning, right up until I woke up. Calling out for my mom, I looked around, but she was gone. Her car was missing. Where the hell did she go? Behind me, I heard something. It was faint but distinct. The sound of someone letting out a breath, too quick to stifle it. Not looking back, I ran out of the house and down the road. In a panic, I jumped on the first bus I saw. Luckily, one headed out of town. It's a long ride, so I have time to collect my thoughts. I'm heading to my dad's in Redacted.